Nobody has ever traveled the journey of success without passing through the streets of failure. Good evening, Toastmasters and dear guests. This is Bhaveshwara, and today I am going to be the sergeant at arms for this meeting. I welcome you all to the 52nd STC, that is Speakers, Trainers, and Coaches Toastmasters Club meeting. A big round of applause for all of us. We at our club always ensures to give the best meeting experience, and for that we have set certain ground rules which I request you all to follow to the core. First, to avoid any distractions, please switch off your mobile phones or put it on the silent mode. Please refrain yourself from talking on subjects like politics, sex, and religion. Please keep your mic on mute when you are not speaking. But I highly encourage all to please keep your videos on so that we can see all those beautiful and handsome faces out there. Fourth, please put off your videos if you are leaving the meeting in between. A small disclaimer for all of you. This is just to let you all know that this meeting will be recorded and we may use this recording for promotional purposes, such as sharing it on our website or social media channels. By joining the meeting, you agree to let us use your name, voice, and image in the recording. We want to assure you that your privacy is important to us, and we will only use the recording for the purposes mentioned. If you have any concerns or questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Lastly, we want to thank each one of you for joining us today and being part of our community. Your presence is highly appreciated. Now, I'm sure that you all will agree that be it a small or big organization, they all have a mission. And likewise, our club also has a collective mission. The mission of our club is to provide supportive and learning experience by which members are empowered to develop their communication and leadership skills, resulting into greater confidence and personal growth. I'm sure you all will agree that in today's world, most of the people live the life on the basis of other people's opinion rather than on their own inner experience. Many of us fail or fear to express our viewpoint when in crowd or in small groups. Are you one of them? Don't worry, as today we have a keynote speaker, DTM Miss Sravanthi, who will help us understand how we can develop connection and trust with our inner self, how we can align our inner experience with our outward expressions. I am very much excited to hear her thoughts on radical authenticity and learn from the same. Are you? So now, without taking much of your time, let me introduce to our club president, who is also the presiding officer for today's meeting. She is one of the most diligent presidents that I have come across, and that speaks a lot about her character and competence. Tahira is a confidence coach from Mumbai who believes that continuous learning is very important in her life. She believes small improvements on daily basis will surely make her the better version. And for that, she keeps working on herself. I'm sure that you all will agree that she is someone who is very caring, resilient, loyal, and love helping people. She has done her master's in HR. Previously, she was the VPPR and now the current Madam President. Please join your hands together and welcome TM Kahira. I now announce this meeting open. Over to you, Ms. President.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bhavesh, for that wonderful introduction. And welcome, dear guests, to our meeting. It's lovely to have you all with us every single week. And you're interacting enthusiastically with us. So welcome. I would like to acknowledge that we have some great people with us, including our keynote speaker, Sravanthi ma'am. And I would like to welcome her, as well as Nadia, Jaya, Mukesh, Yash, Jayati, Lydia, Manoj, Caroline, MV, and Amit. Since we have a limited time, I would like all of you to give us a short introduction of yourself in the chat box, your name and how you came across our club. Welcome, and I would like to welcome our new member, Shama, who's just become a part of our club. Shama, can you wave out to everyone? Congratulations, she joined our club yesterday. How does it feel, Shama, to be a member of our club? If you can just share in 10 seconds. You're on mute.
Yeah, it feels good. Thank you so much for that warm welcome. And it feels really, really good because the group is really vibrant. And I hope I'll get to learn a lot.
You definitely will.
And thank you, Aditya, for bringing me here. Thank you.
I would encourage every single person over here. Shama, thank you for speaking, and we love that you have joined us. I encourage everyone here to participate in the meeting, as it's going to be a very interactive session. So please do participate. There are 3 parts of the meeting. Our keynote speech by our the dynamic Distinguished Toastmaster Sravanthi, followed by a table topic session and then evaluation segment. Now, I'm sure you are all eagerly waiting for the keynote speech by Distinguished Toastmaster Sravanthi on her topic, radical authenticity. Before I pass on the control to her, I would like to introduce her for the benefit of our guests who may not know her. Distinguished Toastmaster Sravanthi is a resident of Cleveland, Ohio, USA. She joined Toastmasters in 2013 to practice speaking purposefully and succinctly, but stayed for the enormous value and incredible friendships it continues to add to her life. She's a member of 5 President's Distinguished Clubs. Sravanthi ma'am has served all club officer roles and as area director, division director, program quality director, district director. She's a club sponsor, mentor, coach, youth leadership program coordinator, pathways guide, and she currently serves as the corporate club liaison for District 10. She's also a 3-time distinguished Toastmaster and an incurable optimist. She revels in all things Toastmasters and believes in its unlimited potential to alter our perception of ourselves and the ever-evolving world around us. She has found clarity, connection, and confidence in Toastmasters. So with that, I would like to pass on the controls to DTM Sravanthi.
Thank you, Kahira. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. I hope you are happy to be here. Thank you for choosing to join us today. And it is a choice, isn't it? Welcome to our new members. I see some familiar faces. I love this club. And I know I have special affection for all of you since even before we chartered. So thank you. Thank you for choosing to be here. Thank you for having me back to speak on a subject that I am myself continuing to explore that I'm pretty excited about. And as Kahira said, and if you have ever had the delight of providing me with your presence, not the other way around, you know that it's going to be interactive, right? You know that already. So here is our first task of the day. If you would light up the chat window and let the whole world know what you desire most. We're talking about radical authenticity, so there should be no shyness. This is a safe and a brave space. So tell the world, and if you're not comfortable, tell me, what do you desire most? I'm told I have 30 minutes to speak and about 10 minutes for Q&A, but we'll mingle all the Q&A in the 40 minutes that we have together. Okay, Nupur says peace, being happy all the time. All right, Bhavesh, all right, happiness and peace. Okay, peace, love, happiness, fame. All right, I love Naren. Okay, Naren says fame. Seema, happiness. Vajayanti, contentment. Mental health, Mansi. Okay, this is fantastic. Keep it coming. Oh, I think Lydia, love. Okay, Lydia got us started. All right. money, mental health. So I hear contentment, happiness and peace, take the tops, right? Happiness and peace, mental health, money, live and let live. That's a great tagline to have. Now, let me ask you a follow-up question. As you continue to give your responses, let me ask you a follow-up question. Are you achieving it? Are you achieving it? You may say, maybe, yes. For those of you who are saying yes, more power to you, my friends. For those of you who are saying no, that's all right too. Largely yes. Excellent response. To an extent, yes, excellent response. Because you see, we are all at some points in our journey on the continuum to being authentic, right? Now, authentic, radical authenticity. Two very powerful words. I want you to remember your responses because I want us to think of them as we go. Two bold, very powerful words that might even just keep us from uttering them. You know why? Simply because we might feel obligated to do something about them. Right? Radical means different. Radical means change. Radical means courage. Authenticity means being ourselves. So we might not even want to say these words together because we might feel obligated to do something about them. And that's the real thing, right? We might feel obligated to define them, to imbibe them in some way, or to live up to the essence that they convey or the expectations that they set of us. Don't you think? Sometimes it can be daunting. It has been daunting for me. It continues to be daunting for me. But you see, my friends, just because it's daunting doesn't mean we don't do something about it. Am I right? A lot of things are daunting. Who lives does? None of us does. So we are going to explore a little bit of what this might mean. As daunting as they are, we think about these two words every day. What does it mean to be radical? We want to be radical, but we say, maybe I'll let it lay for a day. Maybe tomorrow is the day, maybe next month, right? Because it can be daunting. Authenticity, oh my God, what if I say who I am? What if I say what I want? What if I find that balance between who I am inside with what I'm outside? What will the world say? What will people who have expectations of me think? How will I define success? Oh my God, I have to define so many things differently now, simply because I have accepted that I'm going to think about these words. That can be pretty daunting. And I want to acknowledge that. First and foremost, let's acknowledge none of this is easy. But is it doable? Absolutely. Can it be empowering? Amazingly, yes. So you, me, we all have had these experiences or moments when we feel like there is something or someone out there that will make us feel a little more fulfilled, a little more empowered, or who will or what will help us strike that sweet balance between where we are in our lives with our inner experience and its outward expression. You probably saw in the introduction, right? Our inner experience and the outward expression of it. Simply put, right? How many of us are constantly checking that? We don't, because we are busy. Believe me, I just got off another meeting. I have exactly 1 hour to be here. And at 12 o'clock, I need to get back in. We don't have that kind of time. But you see, it's not about time. It is about, my favorite I word, intention. If we think about it often enough, sometimes almost magically things start to happen, correct? All right. So put simply, I'll summarize authenticity for us. Oh, by the way, maybe you might want to summarize. What does authenticity mean to you? Now that we've talked about what we desire and whether we are or aren't achieving it, what is authenticity? You can't use the words I used. That inner experience, outer expression, can't use those words. What does it mean? Being your real self, the real thing. Oh, Lydia, I love what you said before. I need to be loved for being my authentic self, right? The real part. Okay, 2, 3 of you, all of you use the word real. Align inside with the outside. Bhavesh, playing with words here. Excellent. Okay, bona fide. The true thing. Excellent. Anyone else? So I heard real 3 times, bona fide, being true to yourself. I love the word truth. Okay, coherence between what I think and what I do. Vajayanti is already reading my mind, my real inside, right? My real inside translating to the real outside. To live out your purpose, being yourself is authentic. Excellent. So we understand that, right? We understand that. And simply put, for all of us, to bring us all to the same page, authenticity means that you and I are true to our personalities, our values, and the spirit of those, the personality and the value, regardless of the pressures that we are under. And did I already put the caveat out there, but that this is not easy, but it's doable? We want to remind ourselves of the refrain time and again, right? We are not doing this because it's easy. We are doing this because it keeps everything real. It helps us be the best that we can be. All right, you're honest with yourself and with others, and you take responsibility for your mistakes. That's what this is all about, right? You and I are honest, and we are ready to take responsibility of everything that we stand for. Now, my love of this topic, and Vajayanti came really close because she's heard me before probably, and she also is starting to think like, maybe this is a real thing, is my love with, or my romance with one word, one of the C words. I'm in love with the letter C for some reason. I tend to find all words. And the word is congruence, right? That congruence. This is not congruent. This is not congruent. This is not congruent. This is congruent, right? I love that word. Let that sink in for a second here, right? Congruence means at the same level. So authenticity at its very core, right, is a concept of personality. So there's psychology, whether you take existential psychotherapy or philosophy, however you take it, it is the degree to which our actions or a person's actions are congruent with his or her inner values and desires. You see how simple that is, right? Despite external pressures. Now that is what we will explore today. It is not easy. Congruence is this agreement. It has agreement and truth at its core. Congruence means we have to have the agreement and truth at its center. Congruence thrives on this idea that our outer and inner selves are in agreement and us being one with our truth, our own truth. Who is Sravanthi? What does we believe? Are her actions, are her thoughts, are her holding hands, are her giving hugs, everything in congruence with how she's feeling inside? You know how we say, he's a fake, don't worry about him. Oh, she says it, she won't follow through, right? You want her on your team? Think again, right? That means that somewhere that congruence, that inner experience and outer behavior have laid a pattern that you and I don't trust, correct? Somehow people make decisions about us, and I make decisions about you, and you about Nupur, or Nupur about Aditya, because somewhere in there, that trust got eroded. Not once, not twice, but there is a pattern. There is a pattern that people recognize, and that's what we want to address, right? Authenticity, therefore, my friends, is something genuine, the real thing, like you said, the real item, the real article, right? Authenticity is genuine, something worthy of trust and reliance. You trust that person or that thing, and you know that you can rely on that person or that thing. That is authenticity, right? And the most critical function of this authenticity, of this trust and reliance, begins where? Where does it begin?
In the mind.
Trusting ourselves, in your heart, in your mind, in your able hands, in your strong legs. That's where that trust begins. So at the core of this whole authenticity business is self-trust, right? So let's talk about it. Let's talk about self-trust. Thank you, Ruby, Aditya, within ourselves, inside me. You see how we have ready answers to all of these questions? We all do. See how quickly we are chiming in? But then we study, I mean, there were at least 3 billion responses when I typed various ways, authenticity various ways, in less than a quarter of a second. That means a lot of us are looking to learn about this. So if we have such ready answers at our behest, then why is it so difficult? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about why this congruence, why this trust, why this reliance, why this digging deep in and trusting ourselves. Why is it difficult? We call them barriers, we call them obstacles. Why is it difficult? Why is it difficult for you to trust yourself? Do you trust me? By the way, do you trust me for anything? Shama doesn't even know me. She's never heard of me. She's a new member. She's already trusted.
I know you. I've seen you in the international this thing also, and you dropped in last time for the 5 minutes.
Excellent. So she already trusts me. I might have done something. Until she realizes a pattern that's untrustworthy, she will trust me, right? I trust all of you too. Kahira trusts me. Nupur trusts me. Nirmit trusts me. I trust her. I trust Jaya. Jaya trusts Mukesh. You see how easy it is for us to trust one another? But remember what we talked about? It begins with trusting ourselves. So let's talk about trusting ourselves. We trust you because you're authentic. My outward expression may be nothing like my inward expression. Maybe over time, you have seen me repeat a pattern. Maybe that's why you trust me a little more, right? If I wasn't developing or keeping with that congruence in your mind somewhere, you will have me fade away into nothingness because you stop trusting me, correct? Even if you have no need with me or not with me, no favor to ask of me, you keep in touch because somehow I have established that trust just to say hello, or something might have reminded you of me, right? You will do that. Now let's come back. Let's come back to what we were talking about. We were talking about then why is it so difficult to trust ourselves? We'll talk about trusting ourselves because we are extraordinary at trusting others, because we seek out, we want others, we want that validation from others, and we want to validate others, correct? That's why it's so easy, because we recognize a pattern, we want to give praise. We recognize something, we want to give feedback. And we want others to do the same to us. That's the conditioning, right? We validate more when we need more validation too, right? You see how that works perfectly. But we are talking about trusting ourselves because at the core of authenticity, my friends, is self-trust. We're talking about trusting ourselves. Hi, Elios. I see you. Right? We trust ourselves, right? You don't trust anyone. Lydia says she doesn't, because she may have had experiences where people were inauthentic time and time again, right? It's where we lose trust. We lose trust in the world. We lose trust. Somehow we even start doubting ourselves. Don't you think? We feel like imposters. We feel like we don't belong. We develop negative behaviors that don't help us. So am I hearing answers? Why don't we trust ourselves? You see, no one answered that one. We had ready answers for everything else. So you see how this is so natural. This is an experiment, right? You see how I said we had ready answers, and surely, Noor, welcome. I just saw you, self-preservation, our conditioning, right? That's probably one of the reasons why. And you did have, okay, Bhavesh said conditioning, Noor said self-preservation. That's why. We may not trust because we want others' validation. We want them to say that we are trustworthy, right? So that's how we preserve ourselves. Noor said, sorry, I did not see. We trust, okay, that's about me. Okay. Reassurance, we seek reassurance, nice, because if we make a mistake, we are being criticized. We know we will be criticized. And guess what? If we get shamed in public, God forbid, we are done, right? That's why. So we have trouble trusting because we are conditioned by all of these obstacles, these social barriers. So what can we do? Our history and past failings, that's why we don't trust ourselves, because somehow, who said that? Arjun said, our history and past failings and our good memories, remember them in perfect detail. So failings, bad memories, negative outcomes have given us this feeling that somehow we cannot trust ourselves, right? And that puts us in this negative cycle of continuously seeking external validation, so we can in turn somehow try to trust ourselves. But then as soon as something goes wrong again, that goes out the door. We stop trusting ourselves, right? A bad memory seems to be essential for self-confidence, Arjun says. Arjun is now the philosopher, as you can see. He's already giving us gyan, correct? Perfectionism, the imposter syndrome, one of the ways that we feel, I am a perfectionist myself, and I struggle with it. I really do. I really do. So do you think there are small but consequential ways that we can help ourselves to increase that speed to trust within us? How many of us believe that we can do this? Because, yeah, we do. Because there are people in our lives, there are instances that make people memorable in our lives, because somehow we recognize that congruence in them, don't you think? They might not keep a promise once in a while, or they may be running late, or they don't show up, or they apart. But you see, that one instance or two instances or five instances never take away from the congruence, because somehow they have established that trust, that reliance within you. And that, my friends, is because they trusted themselves first. I want to repeat that, right? Authenticity begins with self-trust. They somehow believed in themselves a little more than anyone else believed in them first. So in a sense, I want to repeat this, authenticity begins with self-trust, and it thrives. It's not a one and done thing. I wake up at 8:05 and then say, I trust myself. By 9:45, I am done for the day. I've fallen face down, my nose to the ground, and I am done. Because between 8:05 and 9:45, I've had these horrible experiences. People didn't give me kudos. They didn't do anything. Not only did they not do that, they gave me negative feedback. And then I didn't succeed. My application for something or a job interview failed, and I got notice that I did not make it to the second round. You see, now within an hour and a half, I'm done. You see, that's not how it works. Self-trust does not get eroded moment by moment. Self-trust actually thrives on that congruence. Every time you're saying, my lived experience and my outward expression are going to be the same. If I don't get selected, I'm going to accept it and move. And if someone asks me, did you get selected? I say, oh, I never cared for that interview anyway. You see, that's what you will say because you didn't get selected. That's what I would say probably. Oh, I wouldn't, but you know, we tend to say things like that. Then you might diminish the value of that interview or that position just because you didn't get selected. You see, we do these little things that are inauthentic. Instead of saying, you know what, the better person got the job, instead of saying the better person got the job and I am okay and I got some valuable feedback and say with a smile, instead of doing that, what do? We say, I didn't care for that job anyway. The boss, have you ever worked for that person? I just applied because da-da-da-da-da. We make some kind of an excuse. Simple example is the slight inauthenticity right there. You're not congruent. Deep down, you're like, man, I went to these temples. I prayed in the church. I did namaz 5 times a day and I did this, this, and this. And I just did everything I could just to get that job. Deep down, you know you did. But your outward expression, right, is that you lighten the load just by saying something else to another person. That other person may never recognize. Kshama might entirely believe that I didn't care for that job. But you see, deep down, you know that you did. Deep down, I know that I did. Deep down, I know I've lost sleep these past 3 weeks and I will lose sleep for another 3 weeks because I didn't get that job. You see, that's where you trust yourself. You trust your instinct and you say, I'm going to be authentic. I'm going to say it like it is. That doesn't mean you bare yourself to the world and say everything that comes to you. No, that means that every time you open your mouth, every time you think, every time you do something, there is what we call What did we say it was again?
Congruence.
Congruence. It's always congruent. You can choose not to say anything. Here is another thing, right? You and I can choose not to say anything. Yeah, I'm disappointed. You can leave it at that. You don't have to share the details, but that little detail about your disappointment is congruent. It is right. You can leave it at that. Somehow we feel obligated to expound on it and make ourselves feel better. That is incongruent. You see, we flip it to be a negative. That is incongruent. I'm just elaborating on one experience. There are many like this, right? There are many like this. An honest compliment can be congruent with how we are feeling. But somehow, if that person is getting all the compliments and you're getting none, you don't give that compliment. If you feel honestly that the dish that somebody made, their brownies are better than yours, go ahead and say that. I've made brownies 38 times in the last 6 months. They never turn out as well as my friend John's. But that doesn't stop me from complimenting John's brownies, right? Because I'm not very good at it. John always compliments my effort, not the deliciousness of the brownies, but effort, yes. You see, that is congruence. Now, these are very little examples. I'm not making a big deal of them, but that's where authenticity is. That's where the congruence is. Are we good so far? Do we understand this? Do we understand congruence? Do we understand authenticity? Now do we understand some of the barriers? Maybe they are social conditioning, there is expectation, there is not trusting ourselves enough to be okay. Somehow we think the world will think less of us. Somehow I might believe the world will think less of me in a social party of 1,000 people where my brownies never get complimented. And in a fundraiser, his brownies get sold within 5 minutes and my brownies are just sitting there, 5 trays of them. Happened to me, but that's okay. His brownies are better. So I reduce the price on my brownies and I sell them anyway because it's a fundraiser, for God's sake. You see, it's simple. It's simple like that. When we are congruent, we lighten the load on ourselves. Do you see how light you can feel? And how much burden we carry simply because we are not authentic? Inauthenticity is burdensome. Now comes the radical part. What does radical mean? What does radical mean to any of us?
It means very fast.
It means fast, okay.
Fast, yes. Quick
Change.
change.
Okay. Who else?
Change.
Change. Love it. Different from others. Different. Radical is different. Radical is change. Radical is quick, right? Radical is drastic. Always count in my agenda to come up with the best words. It's drastic, right? Like no one expected. It's unconventional. It's not something that people were expecting. Now, why do we call it radical authenticity? Like you are extreme with it. When you're extreme with it, I haven't lost an ounce, leave alone a pound, in over 25 years since the first time I had my baby. But you see, I feel light as a feather. You know why? Because I don't carry this burden. Was it easy? No. Am I getting better? Yes. That's where it takes courage, my friends. So at the core, we said is self-trust, and that trust and resilience. Add one more to it. It takes courage because it's not easy. Courage for what? Courage not to impress others. Courage to impress and convince yourself. Convincing ourselves takes most courage because guess who we can fool very easily? Ourselves, because that's the best way to move forward every day. We fool ourselves all the time because it's easy, right? We can say, I think I'm good. No, I think I'm not good. That's all right. I'll move on. We keep moving on. We don't do what I call those little check-ins. The micro check-ins, we don't make that a habit throughout our day. It almost has to become automatic for us. Because if we care enough about congruence, if we care enough about being authentic, if we care enough about building trust and reliance, we must check in. We must check in until it becomes a habit, until it becomes part of our DNA. And may I remind all of us about the refrain once again. We are not doing this because it's easy. We are doing this because it's possible and it's powerful. We are not doing this because this is easy, right? None of us said, nobody said this was easy. But everyone who you and I remember as memorable, who we reach out to when we are in trouble, who we really, by the way, not just when we are in trouble and reaching out for advice. Do you really feel sometimes when you achieve something, you want to share it with this one person? Yes, I feel that. I want to share this with this one person I want to reach out to. I want to plaster this picture on this one WhatsApp group that I'm part of. You see how you feel that? It's not just for negative stuff or something that we need. It's also for the positive achievement, a positive learning. You want to share this with this one person. When I receive messages out of the blue from someone saying, I just wanted to share it with you, I'm like, wow, of all the people you could choose, you chose me. You see, that is a beautiful feeling. I don't know what it did to the other person, but it totally empowered me that day, right? Because someone reached out. Someone reached out and knew I would appreciate it genuinely. Is powerful to me, right? So let's talk about it. We talked about courage and we talked about why it is difficult. Let's talk about a few simple tips, right? How can we be courageous? How can we do these minor, minute, constant, continuous check-ins with ourselves? Can someone suggest what is one way to do this? Simple steps. And I read many articles, and one of the articles in Psychology Today, authenticity, this whole chat group I follow. Introspection. Noor is one of those friends who I think of often. I have to tell you, he and I have like mirror minds, and I make no exception. He's a brilliant mind. Introspection. He and I thrive on introspection and self-reflection. So your number one is self-reflection. Check in with yourself often. And when you find yourself, interrupt yourself and say, I am sorry. That's not how I'm feeling. Interrupt yourself. That is important. This is a bias we have against ourselves. Interrupt. Interrupting this bias is important. We don't do that. Guess why? Because somebody else has to be impressed, right? Somebody else has to believe that they are in good stead. We don't want to ruffle their feathers. You don't have to be nasty to tell the truth. You don't have to be, what is the word I'm looking for? Unsavory. There you go. You don't have to be unsavory in what you deliver and how you express yourself. You can be extraordinarily elegant and eloquent in how you say what you say, but still stay authentic. You don't have to fake anything, right? Throw the phone out the window. Arjun has easy answers for all of us. Social media, the influences, the expectations, the burden that it allows us to carry, or we allow ourselves to carry. He even came on camera just because I complimented him. I love that, right? There you go. See? That is something that we can all do. So I talked about agreement. How many of us remember? There is an agreement, right? Keeping our agreements, simple things. Kahira asked me something, I say, I'll get back to you. I say, if I don't, please remind me. Because I know, I'm self-aware. I say, I've told her that before. If I tend to forget because it's a weekday time for me, please remind me a couple of times. Please give me more options, because in the past, if you gave me only one option, I may not have been able to keep my promise. I know that about myself. Unless you give me 3 options with a time difference, there is no way I can work anything out, right? You see, a little bit of self-awareness, a little bit of apology, but you are true. When you don't show up, profusely apologize, send 15 messages and say how truly sorry you are. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. So the first is to keep an agreement, small promises, keep them, right? And be honest when you don't. The second is living your commitment, your own commitment. Make a commitment to yourself. We put ourselves last a lot of times. We put ourselves last, don't we? Yeah, Naren said integrity is important, right? Absolutely. Small promises to ourselves. That I will attend a Toastmasters meeting, that I will mentor someone, that I will give honest feedback, that I will have an enormously open mind when I receive feedback, that I will say, if you have feedback, instead of saying, if you have feedback, guess what? The simple thing I do, have you ever seen my emails? If you did, it has worked for me. I welcome your feedback, I say. I never say, if you have feedback. You see, slight turn of words there. All I say is, I welcome your feedback. I never say, if you have feedback, because I always assume they have feedback and they are hesitant to give it to me. Simple. If it works for you, do it. Invent your own ways. Get creative. Don't be shy to be authentic. It's all right. Okay. The third one, it's one of my favorites. Show up only to be fully present. Show up only when you're ready to be fully present. That is authentic. When you're there, put yourself on camera. I mean, those of us who don't want, that's fine too, but fully present. Have a paper and pencil. How many of you have a notebook? Have a paper and pencil. Be fully present everywhere you go. Right? The only reason I put myself on camera is to force myself to be there. I truly do that. Throughout work, I'm the only person at my workplace who's on camera 9 hours of the day. That used to be an imposition when COVID started. Honestly, I hated it. But you know, it made me more disciplined. People can tell how I'm feeling. And I am obligated to keep my feelings true. Right? If I lean in, I lean in. If I shed a tear truly, if I'm feeling that way, I do. If I'm mad, they will know I'm mad. But that's okay. Okay? All right. So what was the third one? Show up to be fully. Get real.
Ma'am,
Make
your
smart goals. Don't
Ma'am,
be unreasonable with yourself. Sorry. Am I audible now?
yeah, you're
Can
on.
you repeat? Your voice
Okay.
was breaking.
Giving
Can you
us the
repeat
point.
all the three?
Sure. Keeping agreements and doing what you said you will do. Simple stuff. And Noor will remind me that one of my most favorite is the 4 Agreements done by Don Miguel Ruiz. You don't even need to read the book if you know the 4 Agreements. There you go. He's giving me a thumbs up. That was one of the first things I shared. And he reminded me of you many months later that this is what you shared many, many months ago. Right? So that's the first. The second is to living out your own commitment to yourself. Make small commitments to yourself to be authentic. Hold yourself accountable. The third one is show up to be fully present. Show up for somebody. Show up for your own self. When you do a good thing, have people said, oh my God, you're so generous. You're so good. You're so kind, so compassionate. What do you tell them? My simple question to you, when people compliment you, when they shower you with compliments for your compassionate and kind behavior, what do you say? You say thank you. And you say, no, you do so much. And they elaborate, right? I love people who keep complimenting. They say, oh my God, you do so much. I really mean it. And like, still say thank you. You know, one of the ways I have found, I said, I'm doing this for myself. Right? That's why I overdo, because I don't carry the burden of someone else's expectation when I do this. And imagine, by not doing that, I'm doing 10 times more than anyone else. This might seem counterintuitive, but it's so true. You show up at a soup kitchen. You show up at a soup kitchen once because there is an event. But when no one's watching, you show up every Sunday. That is what is lightening your load, right? All right. The self-trust, remember, trust your inner wisdom. A lot of times we want to trust it, but we don't trust it because we don't think we have it within us. How many of you read Blink? There is something in it for all of us. Yeah. Your gut feeling, trust it. You and I, as humans, are equipped to have the real gut feeling, inner wisdom. And to some of us, it may not come through naturally, right? But that's okay. Self-reflection helps, like Noor said. Introspection helps. Continuous check-in helps. Okay. Am I at 30 minutes or 40, Bhavesh?
35.
35. Excellent. Okay. Trusting your inner wisdom is one, right? Living your deepest value. Remember, we asked, what do you really desire? What do you believe? Live it out. Make small plans to live that desire. Make a small plan for yourself. Remember, that's commitment to yourself. Make a small commitment, small everyday commitment. Whatever you put in there, your happiness. Write down 6 things that happiness is too broad, right? I didn't comment on it first. World peace, inner happiness, come on, they're really, really big. You need to break them down. At 8:05, you need to be able to look at it and say, I'm going to do this one thing by 11 o'clock and feel really good about myself. That's where I think we miss the boat, is we keep it so big, like solve world hunger. Go, feed your kids first, feed your family first, feed yourself first. Make it chunkable, right? Chunk it down. Then step out of your house and cook a meal for the neighbor. Step 2. Then go into the local community soup kitchen. Step 3. Then think about how you can talk to your legislator to say, what are we doing to prevent food scarcity? Step 4. You see how you have to go step by step. You can't say, I'm going to solve world hunger. You and I cannot do that. That's a noble aspiration to have. But unless we chunk it out at 8:05 a.m., we have nothing to look forward to. You see, it's a great aspiration to have. If you really want to be authentic, whittle it down to what you can look at. I'm just using 8:05 a.m. I don't know why. Every day I check in, I log in at 8. 8:05 a.m. is a really big deal in my mind every single day. So, okay, go below the superficiality. Next step. Every time you say something just because you can, check yourself. Don't say something. Even if it is like Mark, say it because you genuinely mean it. Right? I love Lydia's smile. Do you see how sweet her picture is? I have a special fascination for people who tilt their heads when they smile. I don't know why. If I feel that way, I'm going to tell her that, right? Even if it is a light remark, let it be genuine. I tend to do that. All my pictures tended to be like this. And people said, why are you doing that with your head? And I'm like, I had no idea. Somehow my head tilts towards my heart. Every time I smile, I'm smiling like this. Like, I have no idea until people made me conscious. So I have this thing for people who tilt their head when they smile. Little thing I cherish. I pay a compliment to people and I tell them the story every time. Easy. Okay, so go below the superficiality. Be genuine when you compliment. Be genuine when you say something. Right? Not to say you have to not compliment unless you're utterly floored by it. No, I'm not saying that. But be genuine. If you don't feel like it, don't feel obligated to compliment someone. If you feel like it, you think your feedback would be helpful to someone, take them privately and say, this is what I observed. I think you will really be helped by this feedback. And no one ever will say it is negative feedback if you do it that way with compassion and kindness. So don't be superficial. Don't say things just because. Okay? And same thing around feedback, be open-minded, open to receive. You can receive so much. You and I can receive so much if only we can stay open. Okay? And the last 2 are supremely important. Take responsibility. That's the way to be authentic. For good, for bad, for different. Let's take responsibility. Let's say, I am sorry. I love that. I am so grateful. Take responsibility. Own it. Own it. And the last one, we're doing all of this, 45 minutes well spent, kumbaya. After this, if you and I forget about authenticity, then the last point is as good as never made, consistency. Consistency, do it at 8:05, 8:10, 11 o'clock, 9 p.m., every day, consistently. Don't just be performative. That means don't just do it because there is an occasion. That's performative, right? It's just performative. It's not authentic. It's not true. It's not consistent. So I hope these help. I hope this help. Be true to yourself. It takes a lot of courage, but you and I can do this. It is radical for a reason, because it does warrant a lot of courage out of each and every one of us. Okay, I'll take a question or two. I know I'm out of time, maybe a couple of questions, but I am available. All of you know where I live. You have my number. I'm happy to converse. I really, really love this topic. I think it's easy if we make it easy on ourselves. It is very burdensome if we think of it as a faraway concept that is an illusion. It is not. It is not. In small but powerful ways, you and I can do this. And we can imagine a world where we all start to practice authenticity and erase that gap between how we feel inside and how we feel outside, right? And can you imagine a world? Can you imagine a world where we practice communication, not about our experience, but from our experience? I hope that makes sense. We're always talking about our experiences. But when we talk from, when we speak from our experiences, it comes from within. It forces us to self-reflect and speak like we actually mean it. Okay. Thank you, Noor, for putting that. Anyone has a burning question I can answer? I hope this was helpful. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Kshama, go ahead.
See, sometimes when you say sorry, people are like, no, you don't need to say sorry. It's fine. I mean, they just try to negate the feeling that the other person is feeling sorry. So what about in those, during those times you feel that, okay, I mean, I have been authentic enough. Why is the other person not responding to it in a proper manner? I mean,
you've answered
sorry
your,
is required.
No,
if
you've answered your question. You've answered your question.
How?
Remember, so you've said sorry, right? You said sorry because you felt the need to say sorry. You had an apology to make and you
Your voice
doesn't that where the story ends? Isn't that where the story? You hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
So you have said sorry because you felt the need to apologize, correct?
Right.
Is there more to the story?
No.
End of story.
Okay, got it. Thanks.
Yes?
Yes.
Here is why I'm saying that's exactly what we were talking about, right?
Right, got it.
Right, we were talking about how our sorry is valid and worth it only if it's validated by Vaijayanti, right? You said sorry to her because you needed to apologize. That's what I'm saying. That's the burden we carry. That's the additional layer that we place upon ourselves where it's absolutely not necessary. Vaijayanti may say, no, you don't need to. We keep going back and forth. But you genuinely felt the need to say sorry more than one time. And you leaned in and you said, I am so sorry. Done. End of story. You are relieved. That's it. Vaijayanti may never accept it and she might write a letter to her mom saying, oh my God, there is this girl in my club. She keeps saying, it's okay, that's not your problem, right? Vaijayanti can do whatever she wants. I'm oversimplifying it, but I hope the essence is there.
No, it's
right?
absolutely clear.
Okay.
Thank you.
There you go. Right? Was that the only burning question? I know I'm standing between you and your wonderful table topics now. Is there anything else I can answer? Oh, Ruby, you have your hand up, my friend. Go ahead.
Just one very stupid question. Why do you think this is important? Why in the whole world will anyone want to do this? Sorry, a stupid question, but a burning one at my end. I mean, I may want to do it. Yeah.
Why in the world would you not want to do it? What is in it? Give me one advantage why you wouldn't do it.
Because it may not suit my purpose. I mean, perhaps it does, but it may not suit someone else's purpose.
To each his own. I will start with that. To each his own. Ruby, you may not see value in it. But unless you try.
But there could be people who cannot see value in it.
That's why I'm saying. Yeah. It's not you. When I say you, someone may not see value in it. Right? The reason I'm doing this, here I am, right? The reason I am doing this is because I see value in it. The reason you asked me the question on someone else's behalf, or you felt the need to ask it on someone else's behalf, tells me that you think there are people who don't believe in this business of radical authenticity, right?
Absolutely.
Not our problem.
Okay.
My goal today was to say, I believe in this and share the benefits of how my experiences somehow may have led me to a better place, may have led me to exploring and leveraging and realizing my potential to a depth and a scale that I had never imagined because of my radical authenticity. And I felt almost obligated to share it with you. So if you ever feel that you believe in it, but your friend and your community and your 52 homes in the neighborhood, people in them don't believe in it, then you do your part, my friend, because that is what is authentic about you. I am doing my part because I saw value in it. I'm doing my part because in all the 15 topics that I gave Kahira said, ma'am, I think you should talk about this. I said, sure. I'm so glad you said that. Right? So every time we look at an equation and we say, this is what's asked, this is how I'm going to deliver, and I'm going to deliver only if I believe in it, then that story has started and ended gloriously. Right? So the fact that you asked this on somebody else's behalf means that there will be a million other people who may never care for this or who may be okay. But all I'm saying is this relieves the burden on the one hand and helps you amplify your potential on the other. Why wouldn't you give it a try? Aren't you giving all the 48 other things a try that have totally zero consequence in your life? Might as well give this a try, right?
I hope I have not offended you with my question, because I've seen a lot of people who would rather not be.
Do you really see me as getting offended?
No,
I really
haven't.
don't
I
carry
haven't.
the burden of your offense. Honestly, I don't. All questions are good. By the way, don't preface any of your ask next time with a stupid. There is no such thing as a stupid question, honestly. It came to your mind and you're asking it. That's where you're also being inauthentic. If it came to your mind, ask it with you're living your truth and asking that question. Say, Sravanthi, I believe in this stuff, but I know many people may not. Is your authenticity, my friend. Ruby, go ahead and say it like it is. Okay.
Surely.
So I
Thank
know
you.
we are out of time. Please put your questions in the chat. I will hang on for a little. I took a few hours off for this. I'm off until like 2 hours later too. Right. So I will answer your questions. I thank you so very sincerely for giving me this opportunity, honestly. I hope I have given you a little something to think about, and I hope we can do another counter session to come back and see how this goes, right? Have you realized anything good out of this? Okay, Arjun, I saw your hand up. Aditya, your hand was up, and Jaya, your hand. I will look for your private messages without disturbing anyone, but if you feel any value, please share it with others after the fact. Thank you. Back to you, Kahira.
Thank you, ma'am, for enlightening us with your speech. It's always a pleasure to hear you when we hear you. And thank you for always supporting our club. We have a token of a certificate of appreciation. Just let me know when you can see my screen. Sorry, I'm facing some issues with my technology right now.
Don't worry, you can move on. If you can't bring it up, that's fine. Thank you.
It's right here. Yeah. Thank you, Distinguished Toastmaster Sravanthi, for speaking at our club. And it's always a pleasure to have you here with us. And we will I'll definitely speak to you about having a second session, a follow-up session on this. And I will inform everyone about that session. Thank you.
Thank you, Kahira. Thank you, friends.
Yeah. Now we will go to, I would like to invite our role players to speak. I would like to invite first our timer, Toastmaster Bhavesh, who is an amazing person and who always brings such energy to our meetings. Over to you, Toastmaster Bhavesh.
Greetings, Toastmaster Kahira, fellow Toastmasters and guests. My role as a timer is to keep the time for all the speakers to ensure that everyone speaks within their allotted time slot. This will also help in ensuring that meeting runs on time. As a timer, I will time the table topics, speakers, and the evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time that they have left using the green, yellow, and red cards, which denote specific times remaining. Table topic speakers should limit their remarks to no more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will raise the green card. At 1 minute 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. And at 2 minutes, I will raise the red card. For the language evaluation, it should not be more than 4 minutes. At 3 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 3 minutes and 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. At 4 minutes, I will raise the red card. The table topic evaluation should be between 3.5, 3 minutes 30 seconds to 4 minutes. At 3 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 3 minutes 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. And at 4 minutes, I will raise the red card. For active listener, please note that you will get 5 minutes. And if by any chance you go overboard, I will signal the red card, which means you need to wrap it up. Thank you, and over to you, Kahira.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bhavesh, for introducing your role. Now I would like to invite Toastmaster Sneha, who is our language evaluator for the day. She is a very powerful woman who has gone through traumatic experiences and come back with complete gusto. Over to you, Toastmaster Sneha.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kahira. All right. Okay. Good day, fellow Toastmasters and distinguished guests. I'm Sneha, your language evaluator for the day. So we all know that speech, whether it's to a huge audience or to a small social circle, is just about is not just about what we say, but also about how we say it. Because the impact of the speech depends upon how it was interpreted by the recipient. Now, fillers and crutch words aren't bad. They're just words that we use to let the recipient know that we aren't done speaking, but that we are taking a pause to fill our memory gap and think what to say next. However, when these words are used extensively, they can detract our confidence and credibility. Similarly, appropriate usage of words during sentence construction and articulating it properly goes a long way in conveying the correct message to the targeted audience. So my job today is to be all ears and track all your crutch words like our fillers such as so, actually, basically repetitions such as so, well. Apart from these, even pauses, long pauses and dramatic coughs such as I will also be checking the correct, incorrect, and creative usage of words and statements. As a general rule, I shall not interrupt the speakers during their speech, but I will present my report whenever called upon to do so. So the word of the day is predicament, which means a difficult, unpleasant, or embarrassing situation. And all the best to all the speakers. Over to you, Kahira, Toastmaster Kahira.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sneha. It would be great if you can put the word of the day in the chat box. Thank you. Now I would like to invite Toastmaster Rajni, who is an active listener of the day. She's been a mathematics and science lecturer for 34 years, and she has an amazing smile. So over to you, Toastmaster Rajni.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kahira. Now, today I am going to perform a active listener, good listener. As the listener is important, then speaker is also very important. So we have to understand what we have to speak and what we have to listen. So being a listener role, I want to ask some questions from all the topics or the speeches, and I hope you all listen all the things very carefully and give the answers of those questions which I asked at the end of the meeting. Thank you, Toastmaster Kahira. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rajni. Now I would like to call on Toastmaster Naren, who's our Zoom master, to wave out to all of us. Can you raise your virtual hand, Toastmaster Naren? I'm just going to spotlight you, and if you can wave out to everyone. So he's also someone who's full of smiles, and I didn't want to miss not seeing his smile. So that's asked to wave. Thank you, Toastmaster Naren, for being the Zoom master and managing our meeting today. Next, I would like to invite Now it's time for our table topics round, which is a round where everyone present in this meeting should definitely raise their hand to at least try and get an opportunity to take up a table topic speech, which is an impromptu speech. And it's done by Toastmaster Aditya, who is a great soul and who's into Vipassana meditation and is currently pursuing his PhD. So all the best to you, Toastmaster Aditya, for that. And over to you.
Thank you so much, Kahira. Thank you. I hope I'm visible, audible to everyone. Thank you. So I'll just give a brief introduction as to what is table topics for our guests to know. Table topic is a long-standing Toastmasters tradition intended to help members develop the ability to organize their thoughts quickly and respond to an impromptu question or topic. Bhavesh has already given us the timing instructions, and at the end of our session, we would be having a table topic best speaker poll. So just mark your favorite speakers and be ready to vote at the end of the session. All the topics today will be on radical authenticity as our theme goes. Yeah, yes, Nupur. The table topic could land you in a predicament situation, but don't be daunted by it. Give an authentic speech. So anyone is raising their hands, or should I go with Mathuresh? He's messaged me right now. Okay, I see Arjun. Okay, Arjun, can I give Mathuresh the first chance? Thank you. Mathuresh, choose a number between 1 to 20. Choose a number.
7.
7. Okay. And since the table topics are a little long, so it would be put up in the chat. So you can consult your chats to actually see the table topic. Okay, Mathuresh, Toastmaster Mathuresh, have you ever been in a situation where you had to choose between being authentic and conforming to a group of norms or expectations? And how did you handle it? Have you ever been in a situation where you had to choose between being authentic and conforming to a group, norms, or expectations? How did you handle it? Toastmaster Mathuresh.
Thank you, Dr. Master. Yeah, I was recently, 6 months back, I saw the area director nominations, and in that time, I was membership in multiple clubs. The clubs also are in the multiple districts. Hence, I was new for Toastmaster, and I was requesting all the districts for the elect me or nominate me as a area director. That is the first position for me. That time, I have many districts I have sent, but some district told that you are not a member in our district, and they told me to join their clubs. But it was, and also in some districts, in 2 districts, they have selected me as area director. That time I was difficult which district I want to choose. They told me to choose any one district. And both the districts also, the district club officers are very close to me, and they both also telling to choose our districts. And I was really confused what to do. If I choose one district, I used to leave another district. I was really very confused, and I saw some of the timings, which is really work for me. to work as a area director, and based on that, I have visited both the clubs, and in one district, it was very good timings for me to visit all the clubs. Yes, I chosen the districts. This is my experience about choosing the two positions. Thank you. Back to tabletop.
Thank you, Mathuresh, for that interesting point of view. Okay, who goes next? Can I see Arjun? Arjun, would you like to go next? Sure. Okay, Arjun, choose a number. Arjun, you need to choose a number. I can't hear you actually. Hello. Can anyone hear Arjun, or is it my microphone?
I'm unable to hear him.
We cannot hear you.
Hello, how about now?
Yeah, and now we can hear you.
Oh, okay. So 8, I said 8.
8, okay. So, Toastmaster Arjun, have you ever had to confront your own inauthentic behavior? What did you learn from the experience? Have you ever had to confront your own inauthentic behavior? What did you learn from the experience? Toastmaster Arjun, over to you.
Yes, I am very ashamed of a certain behavior of mine. Ever since I was a little child, I had a great problem every time somebody's anniversary or birthday would show up. Because I used to think happy birthday means I actually have to feel happy for them. And for most of my family members, I did not really used to feel happy. I used to feel like it was any other day. And even when it was my friend's birthday, I didn't know what is there to feel happy on this day. And so I would never wish anybody happy birthday because I felt it was inauthentic. I felt like it was a kind of social arm twisting that I was giving into, and I was just saying something that I did not really believe in, but just because somebody else expected me to say it. And but 1 year I did actually in the last year I have started succumbing. I just say, okay, happy birthday. I just get it over with because people started making a big deal out of it. Similarly, I actually refused to say I love you to anybody. Okay, because I also felt that it was like a manipulative thing that people say to each other to get things out of each other. And I don't know what I love you means actually. I don't know what I am supposed to feel when I say I love you. And so when I was little, I used to be very authentic to myself and I would not say anything that I did not. I would not say happy anniversary, happy birthday, I love you, because I didn't know what these things meant and I didn't feel anything. But of late, I am very ashamed that I have just started saying these things without feeling. So yes, I am becoming very inauthentic and I need to get myself fixed.
Thank you, Arjun. I think we
Back
lost
to
our.
you.
So sorry about
Oh,
that.
We lost
what?
Bhavesh,
My
is it?
voice was not there?
We lost Bhavesh for like a few
No,
seconds.
no,
Yeah,
your voice
sorry.
was absolutely fine.
So sorry, I had a power failure. I'm just joining in a while.
Oh,
Just give
no
me a minute.
issues, no issues.
Really sorry.
Okay.
Could someone else take up the timer whilst he's working on that? Aditya, do you think you'll be waiting for time your TTM?
I can put up the timings in the chat. Will that work?
Cool.
Okay, and Noor. Acha, Noor
Okay.
has opted to take the timer
Yeah,
short, is it?
I
Thank you,
can be the time.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Noor.
No problem.
Thank you. Arjun, I thought you gave a really authentic speech. And I can see you are an authentic person. You know, I can see through you. But, you know, just get back your childhood thing in you back and start being authentic so you can inspire people like me. Okay, who would go next? Who is showing up their hands Or should I pick Varun? Varun is there. Oh, super. Varun is here.
I have just joined. I just completed my shift, so I will not be able to switch on my video. Do
No
let me know what are the
issues.
terms and conditions.
There is no term and condition. You just need to pick a number, and I would ask you your table topic.
My number would be 18.
Number
If that's there on
18.
the list.
That's there. We have number from 1 to 20. So, Toastmaster Varun, can you hear me?
Yes.
Am I audible?
Loud and clear.
Yeah.
Loud and clear. Go ahead.
Toastmaster Varun, have you ever been in a situation where someone else's authenticity inspired or empowered you? How did it affect you? Have you ever been in a situation where someone else's authenticity inspired or empowered you? How did it affect you? And you can also see this in the chat one in case you would like to refer to it.
Thank you, Aditya.
Would request everyone to just mute themselves. Yeah.
When pandemic hit, I was bored. The only thing which I could do was sit in front of computer or laptop and look at the screen entire day. That day, I realized something. I have to do something in my life or to kill the boredom. Not out of passion, not out of hobby. I started learning about trading or stock markets. Yes, stock markets. And it was the lowest time in the entire stock market history. Of course, if you don't consider the 1991 scam. But then, hey, it was a good time to invest. Luckily, I was going through some beautiful books by Warren Buffett, and there it was mentioned someone called Charlie Munger. Now, those who know about him, he is supposed to be the best advisor for Warren Buffett, something like Ajit Doval to our Modi or to our presidency. That person has inspired me so much because he talks like a normal person, straight from the heart. And that day, while I was reading this, a news came up. Now, I think it's coincidence or all the forces in the entire world wanted me to invest or learn about trading. That Warren Buffett has started to conduct a meeting or a conference, especially for Charlie Munger, because Charlie was 92 years old. Imagine, just for the sake of an old person, entire person has moved his conference all the way from London, all the way from USA, where Berkshire Hathaway's started, all the way to London, just because Charlie was there and he couldn't travel. This is what friendship is. And the power of investment and power of all the worlds. That has inspired me to start learning more and more and more. And guess what? I made 4.5 lakhs in a due time of 3 years. All the money which I had accumulated from the stocks through the trading, investments, whatever it is, I used it up to fund my college in Barcelona. So, in an indirect way, I can say Charlie Munger has inspired me not only in terms of investments or stock markets, but also in terms of how friendship is important. That's my take. Over to you, Aditya.
Thank you, Varun. Thank you, Varun, for sharing a personal story to inspire all of us. Noor, I think Bhavesh is here. He can take up the role if that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. Okay. Noor, would you like to go take a table topic?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, choose a number.
2.
Okay. Toastmaster Noor Muhammad, have you ever witnessed someone being inauthentic in a situation? How did it affect your perception of them? Have you ever witnessed someone being inauthentic in a situation? How did it affect your perception of them? Toastmaster Noor Muhammad.
Yeah, I see this quite often. In fact, I run business, and whenever I go to see the clients,
and talk to them, they usually tell their expectations of what they want, and we sign the contract. And after signing the contract, suddenly there is a scope creep, and we listen to so many excuses from them, telling that this we have discussed earlier, when that thing would never have been discussed, right? So it's completely inauthentic, but we have to deal with it on a daily basis. So, but I make sure that I tell them that this was not recorded, and I point it out and tell them that this is not the right way of doing the business. And if it is okay for them, that if this was recorded earlier, to share such a recording. Otherwise, we would not be willing to, continue the project. So I have lost many projects like this because of inauthentic behavior from clients, and I never regretted it, not even one. So it's better not to deal with such people than to encourage that thing and then feel sorry for yourself. So as what Sravanthi ji has said, we have to align our actions with what we believe. If we do not speak up, then we are not authentic. If we believe in something, we need to stand up for it, whatever it is. Even it might be a silly thing, you might easily brush it off. We encounter so many things in our daily life that we think it's okay, but it is not okay. If you believe something and you're doing something which is contradicting your beliefs, then it is not okay. So always align your beliefs with your actions. Over to you.
Thanks for reiterating what Sravanthi ma'am told us. And what example you gave is something which I have personally faced so many times in my business. So I think very relatable for a lot of people amongst us. Who do I pick next? Who's picking up their hands? Indu, would you like to try?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay, Indu, pick a number.
3.
Number 3. Okay, Toastmaster Indu. Have you ever regretted not being authentic in a situation? What did you learn from the experience? Have you ever regretted not being authentic in a situation? What did you learn from the experience? Toastmaster Indu.
Yeah, thank you, Aditya. Yes, I have. I have regretted for not being authentic. I couldn't sleep. I was guilty. That's for a situation. So I would very much able to correlate with my experience. It was way back in 2021. Yeah, in 2021, I was about to sign a contract for a book with Springer, and I did that. But all of a sudden, due to financial situations, personal situations, and so many other things, I couldn't actually meet the target. We signed a contract with Springer, and the deadline passed off. It was 1 month. I asked for extension. It was 2 months, and it just went on, but I couldn't do it. And I felt very guilt. I really regretted for not being authentic. I apologized and I asked the editor to actually cancel the contract. And I said, this is for such and such reason. I'm not able to do it. And I'm sorry about it. I know it's not authentic. It's not official. But yes, I will not be able to make it. And what I learned through this experience and from his reply, he replied that, everybody are facing trouble in this situation. We do understand, and we are empathetic towards people, and we know what sort of a person you are. And we are sure that it's for this situation, you're not able to make it up. But just tell me one thing, if suppose you think about it, what is the maximum limit if we extend the contract that you can finish up the project? Because we know that you are capable of, you can do it, and we don't want it to lose your, intellectual in such and such project. But still I said, I need a lot of time to do it. It was end of 2021. The target was done. I extended on and on. I've been telling him it's going to affect you. So please go ahead with someone else. He was highly persistent. He believed in me more than what I did at that point of time. And he said, Dr. Indu, no matter what, just tell me how much time you need. And I gave him a time. And at that point of time, it was 2023 early. I completed it. And I'm so grateful to him, the experience which I learned, that now my book is published with Springer and it's coming online by June. And I couldn't forget this moment in my life that I was inauthentic. I couldn't believe my own self, but he believed in me. He said, you are an authentic person, but just for the situation, you couldn't. So this is something great. I believe that sometimes we shouldn't judge a book by its cover. People may be, not authentic, not because they are not, but for the situation. But it was so kind of the other person to understand and take it away. So this is a great experience, which even I will do it in my life whenever I come across genuine people. Thank you so much. Over to you, Aditya.
Thank you so much, Indumati, Dr. Indumati. That was an amazing speech. And do let us know when your book comes out. We all need to purchase one copy. Okay, so our next speaker would be our latest member joining. That is Shama Bagla. Toastmaster Shama, are you ready to take up the topic?
Yes, I have no other alternative.
Okay, Shama, pick a number.
5.
Okay, number 5, Toastmaster Shama. Have you ever had to choose between being authentic and being loyal to someone else? How did you handle the situation? Have you ever had to choose between being authentic and being loyal to someone else? How did you handle the situation? Over to you, Shama, Toastmaster Shama.
Oh my God, this is the toughest topic of all. I mean, gosh. Okay. Yes, there was a situation wherein I had to choose between the two. And this happened when I was working for All India Radio. The thing was, like, I worked as an RJ, so the scripts are also done by the RJs itself with this organization. While I was writing the script, I mean, I was my sir's pet, thankfully I got that appreciation from him. So everybody used to say that you just get it. I used to tell them that no, like, we have to work for it. It's not that you just get it by fluke. It's the work that shows. So this debate used to run. So there came a point wherein they said that, okay, you are loyal to the organization, fine, this, that. And I had the chance, there was a show running at 5:30 in the evening, which was called Madhurima. So I had the chance to either, carry that script, which I had used earlier, because Sir did not know about it. I mean, he doesn't listen to every program of mine, and I can just rotate that script by, just a few words here and there. So there was a chance to use the script, and I was in an emergency because I had a lot of work at my place. I couldn't do the script, so I had this chance. But then I thought that no, that loyalty also counts, since like he believes in me so much, and my listeners want me to do this. So then I had to take a step back and just do the script with every song there, bang, right on the spot. And the shows are all live. So it was, my ears have turned red again with that experience. So it was a judgment which I had to make. And I chose that, no, I have to do my duty and not become inauthentic. And that gave me the courage to, do things at the last moment also. That's about it.
Shama, your smile is very infectious to everyone.
Oh, thank you so much. I hope everybody
I
catches
thought
this
that was
virus, smiley virus.
Very authentic smile that is so infectious.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Well done, Shama. Well done. My president is telling me to carry forward and stop the table topic, but I would want to give you guys a couple of table topics. Do I have the permission, Kahira? Can we over exceed the time a bit?
By one person.
Okay. She's a strict president, guys. So whom do I choose? Nirmit, you want to go?
I think Akib is a guest here, so maybe.
Yeah. Okay, Akib, you also had your hand up. Yeah, Akib, you should go then.
Yeah, he's a guest.
It's okay if Nirmit was. I don't.
No, Akib, I think you.
Yes,
We have someone cheering you up as well.
you are being very authentic, Arjun here.
Akib, choose a number.
I'll go with 4.
Okay. Number 4. Toastmaster Akib, have you ever had to confront someone about their inauthentic behavior? How did you approach the situation? Have you ever had to confront someone about their inauthentic behavior? How did you approach the situation, Toastmaster Akib?
Have I ever been into an inauthentic situation? And how did I approach?
Yeah, you can see it in the chat also. It's on the chat.
Thank you so much. Most of us have traveled on Indian Railways. We all know how the system works. It was so last month that I had booked a ticket, but didn't care much to see whether that ticket is booked. Did I book from my laptop? Did I book it from my mobile app? I traveled all alone to Patna. While I was on the airport and supposed to travel to railway station, I checked where is my ticket and which bogie it is, what is the seat number. I was not able to find my ticket. I was not able to find any message from IRCTC. I'm like, bro, what happened? I had booked it. That much I know. Went to PhonePe. I could see the transaction. I was like, payment has been done. Ticket is not there. At that point of time, I had to travel. I didn't have any other option. I moved, went to railway station, took that train, sat somewhere in the sleeper bogie. While I was checking the laptop, where is the ticket? I could see that ticket was not booked. It got cancelled for some reason. For some XYZ unknown reason, I didn't know. While I was checking all of it, few TTs were traveling, passing by. They thought this guy is working on laptop. They didn't bother to disturb me. But by the time I realized that I have made a mistake and there is no ticket, I'll have to go another 1 hour. So I was thinking what to do, what not to do. Then a TT approached saying, you can get a ticket from us and we can resolve the issue. I was like, see, this is what the payment made. Neither have received any return, nor the ticket is booked. This is the situation, what you want me to do. Let us book a new ticket from here itself. And that guy very politely said, there is no challenge in booking a new ticket, but sadly 500 kind of rupees as a fine comes, which we also don't want to impose. Like, bro, you are my kind. We are inauthentic. What do you want? Like, but he didn't tell the number. It's like, you tell me the number, I'll pay you. So he was like, whatever you feel like. I was like, this is the ticket which I had for 200. Take it. And he was like, let me see the transaction if I can find something and I'll return. So he took that 200 rupees, went on somewhere in other bogies to check. While I was about to get down, he came and handed over 100 rupees. Like, for us, it is 100 rupees enough. So that is like pro quality of Indian TTs. I was happy that I was able to reach my home. Otherwise, there was no other way possible. And that inauthenticity kind of helped me get down, reach to the destination. So that is one inauthentic behavior happened last month. Very fresh, very afresh. I know I'm guilty of it. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Awesome, Akib. Awesome. Loved your anecdote. So today, I think that's the end of our table topics. Now it's over to Kahira, the IMC.
Thank you so much, Aditya. I would have loved to go on with your table topic session because you have really good topics. Maybe after we finish the meeting, if people want to stay back, we can take a few more topics, if that's okay with everyone. So now I'm going to put a poll, launch a poll. If everyone can take like 2 seconds to vote. All the people who have co-host status, send your poll straight, your vote straight to Nupur. Nupur, have you marked the results? Nupur?
Sorry. Yes, I have.
All right. Thank you so much. Now we have two people who will be coming up and giving their reports. So first, I would like to invite Sneha, who's a language evaluator of the day. But before that, I would like to take a group picture of everyone so that we don't miss out on anyone who has to leave anytime soon. So if everyone can switch their cameras on so we can capture this moment and capture your pretty faces and amazing faces. Jayaji, Vijay, Manoj, Indu, we would love to see you all as well. She just missed the picture. Oh. Okay, I'm taking it in 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Done. Thank you so much. Now I would like to call Sneha, who's our language evaluator, to give her report in 4 minutes.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kaira. Okay, so I'll go ahead. Some of the places I could not hear people because there was disturbance either from their side or there was network issue from my side. So my apologies. Okay, so Bhavesh, Toastmaster Bhavesh, there was one R and a good word used by him was conditioning. Toastmaster Kahira, because you've been speaking for the entire session, you've had 9 hours, okay, and there were some long pauses. DTM Aditya Dugar, you had 3 hours, and the good words used by you was reiterating and anecdote. I'm sure there were more, just that I could not hear when people were speaking because of my network issue. DTM Sravanthi, I think she's left, so I'm not sure if I should be mentioning the words.
She's here. She's here.
Okay, sorry. I'm sorry. I was not able to see. Okay, so there are a lot of good words used by DTM Sravanthi, such as delighted, radical, authenticity, obligated, daunting, congruence, resilience, validation, consequential, resilience, unsavory, eloquent, performative, and I've captured 3 sentences actually. Lighten the load, show up to be fully present, and my favorite is at the core of authenticity is self-trust. That'll stay with me. Toastmaster Naren Yadav, you've used integrity. Then Toastmaster Vejanti, you've used 2 words in the chat, drastic and coherence. Toastmaster Ruby, you've used bona fide. Toastmaster Noor, you've used introspection, which is a good word. Okay, and table topics. Arjun has used 3 hours and 1 long pause. Toastmaster Varun, I'm sorry, there was disturbance. I was not able to hear you. Toastmaster Noor, you've used 3 hours and good sentence from your side was contradicting your beliefs. Toastmaster Indumati, you've used 2 hours and good words were correlate, empathetic, and intellectual. Toastmaster Shama, you've used 3 hours and a few filler words such as like, 5 times and repeated they twice. Toastmaster Akip, you used like 6 times and there was a long pause. Some of the statements that I've captured And some of the statements that I've captured, I don't even know the right usage or the right statement. I might have to take help from some of you. And that is, when I was a little child, or we can say when I was a child, used to feel happy. I'm not quite sure what is the correct word, or if this is a wrong statement altogether, but I think this is wrong. When I was little, when we can use when I was young, never have been discussed. Probably we can say it was not discussed or it was never discussed. Okay, these are two statements. I want to know if they are wrong. I'm not sure, because even I need to ensure I have the correct statements. Is never regretted correct or it's wrong? Anybody?
It's correct.
Okay, then it's fine.
Are we talking about tense, or are we just talking about the never part?
I'm not quite sure, so I've just taken or written it down, noted it down. I thought it might be wrong, but if it is correct, then it's fine. Then there's one more statement. If suppose, I think it is it can be suppose if, but I'm not sure if that is correct. Would anyone like to correct me here? I believe if suppose is a wrong usage. Might have been suppose if, but if I'm wrong, please feel free to correct me. And that's all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Sneha. If you can send me the report which you have, that would be great. And we can maybe put the results in our various groups which we are part of, so that whoever those two sentences were for, they will also get the right usage. So we'll do a little bit of research and then we'll come back with the reports as well. Now we have Toastmaster Rajni, who's the active listener of the day. Over to you, Toastmaster Rajni.
Thank you, Master Khaira. Thank you so much. All the members and guests, I have prepared some questions according to myself, and I hope you all are very good listener, and you listen carefully all the speeches of the table topic, which are very nicely conducted by Toastmaster Aditya or this one. And so I am very thankful to all of you. And now my first question is about the Sravanthi ma'am has used. The one is when the Khaira gives her introduction, she used that when she joined the club first time. In her introduction, Khaira gave the time when she joined the club first time. Anyone?
10 years ago. February of 2013.
Yeah, in
2013.
13, yes, very nice. And what is the key word used by Sravanthi ma'am? First time she used the I word.
Intention.
Very good. Excellent. And now she is used to show the meaning of congruent by action. Which action she used? Yes, she used the level, at the same level. Very nice, very nice. And she also used this word sleep, last sleep.
Consistency.
No, last sleep of how much time? She mentioned the time.
Yeah, for 3-4 days.
No.
She said something like that. Not getting it.
3 weeks. I just make that up as I go. 3 weeks. You know?
Yes, very good. 3 weeks.
Yes.
It is.
I love the number 3, so I tend to use it more.
Yes. And she used to say that how much time she requires, she afford to get authentic in her life. How much time she need. She used to get that time, that how long it will take.
In no time.
Shravanti
No,
ma'am has
she
answered this
mentioned
forever.
some years she mentioned.
She's answered that. She said
She mentioned
forever.
that I took 25 years to get this authenticity in my life. I think so. And what is the last point? She mentioned
Consistency.
that this is the last point.
Consistency.
Yes, very good. Consistency. All are very good listeners. Yes, yes. Now from table topic masters, that Shama used to give her program. What's first program given to her? Name of that program?
Bansari something.
Yes, Kshama, you say that word. What is that word? Madhurima.
Madhurima, yes, but that was
Yes.
not the first program. But yes, I mentioned this. That was Madhurima.
Yes, you mentioned in your speech that this is my program given to me.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes, yes, yes. And by Varun, Toastmaster Varun, he used that how much amount he spent in his
4.5 lakhs.
in his trading.
4.5 lakhs.
4.5 lakhs.
Yes.
4.5 lakhs.
And who inspired him?
Warren Buffett.
Charlie.
Warren Buffett.
No, somebody else.
He's,
Charlie.
he's associate. Somebody is associate.
Charlie.
Yes, yes. This Bhavesh said good. Yes. Charlie. Thank you so much. All are very good listener. Very, very good. Excellent answers. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rajni. And for your first time, you did really well. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Now, I would like to thank, we've got to the end of the meeting. So I have a few short things to say. But before that, I would like to congratulate Arjun on being the best table topic speaker of the day. Arjun, if you can just wave or raise your virtual hand so we can see you. Okay, if someone can spotlight him for like 2 seconds. Okay. Yeah.
One sec. Arjun, all these flying kisses and wave were authentic or not?
Oh, these are completely fake. I don't care for you people at all.
Oh my God. I was waiting.
This is all learned behavior. I have learned to pretend to be.
No wonder.
We can talk when we stop recording. I'd love to chat.
I think everybody loved his inauthenticity. How authentically he presented his inauthenticity. That is what people liked.
I think he authentically presented his authenticity. He spoke what he believed.
Yes.
I'd love to hear the rationale, but pretty soon I think we'll stop recording.
Yeah,
and then
maybe you
we
should
can do
speak to
that.
Sravanthi ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Arjun, for putting your camera on and sharing that we were not being authentic. However, so now I would like to welcome your feedback. And the first person on my screen is Sravanthi ma'am. Would you like to give I would like to hear your feedback.
My feedback is that I am delighted once again to be here. My feedback is also that all of you are so engaged and your participation actually livens up the entire meeting. So it's more of a conversation, it's more of mutual respect and understanding, and moving towards whatever goals it is that we have for ourselves and for our club. So well done. Again, like I said, this club is very close to my heart for a number of reasons. So thank you for having me, and I will do my very best to chime in every once in a while. It's in the middle of a work day for me. Not always easy, but I try to attend as much as I can. So thank you for having me, and thank you for all you awesome people. Shine on.
Thank you, ma'am, for your feedback and for staying with us during a work day. Next, I would like to hear your feedback, Noorji. Noorji?
Yep, I'm here. Absolutely loved Sravanthi's presentation today. It was very authentic and a lot of takeaways today. And also loved the energy in the room. Everyone as very good listeners fantastic, and I'm thankful to be.
Thank you, Nurji. Nadia, we would like to hear your feedback.
Hi, everyone. It's my first time here. So I firstly was very intimidated because of all the opinions and the way everyone was so engaged. So I had to be on my tiptoe. So honestly, thank you, Nupur, for sending me the invite. I thoroughly enjoyed your session, the entire 1.5 hour plus, but it was extremely engaging. So yeah, thank you, Kyra.
Thank you, Nadia, and welcome to our meeting. And we hope to see you next week as well, and in all our future meetings.
Thank you so much.
Now I would like to call Mr. Authentic to give his feedback.
I love this meeting. I joined this meeting because I just felt like I was getting a craving for Toastmasters for some reason. So I just put it on, and I love listening to Sravanthi ma'am's authenticity, because this is a topic that is close to my heart. And then when the table topic came around, it was icing on the cake. So it was rider on the gold for those who don't understand it.
All right. Thank you, Arjun, for your feedback. E.T., we would like to hear from you as well. Ilios. See there? Ilios, are you there? We can see your cartoon moving this way and that way, but we don't know whether you are here. Okay.
It's like a horror movie.
Leos is everywhere actually.
Moving
He
its
must be
way,
attending
not
5 other
available.
meetings.
Yeah.
This thing is not
And
available.
that movement distracts us, so we think that he's actually listening.
Yeah, so authentic. Manoj, we would like to hear from you. Toastmaster Manoj.
Yeah, thank you for calling my name. This is my first time. I got to know this club from Toastmaster Naren, and he's a close friend to me. And I felt very what do you call authentic to be here, because whatever I heard around, and it's purely authentic details are being discussed over here, and I felt very happy, and I just wanted to continue this journey, and I'll just be a part of this great club and the sessions which are going on. Maybe I'll put the word that I'm elated to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. Welcome, Manoj. And we hope to see you join our club, and you too, Nadia, and everyone else who's not a member of our club who's here. And we would like to also see you every week coming back and learning and growing. So
yeah, sure. Thank you all, and more power to you all.
Thank you so much, Manoj.
Thank you.
Jayaji, we would like to hear from you as well. Jayaji. Okay. Indu, we would like to hear from you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was awesome feeling. First of all, great thanks to Sravanthi ma'am. It's always a pleasure to listen to her, and her every word directly hits the heart. That's the beauty of her speech. And coming to this club members, full of energy. Everyone do so much justice, and you prove every week that you're so authentic in your work. That's something which I really love about this club. You're growing every week, day by day, in something or the other. So you have that uniqueness within you. So all the role players, it was so wonderful. You did full of justice, and Aditya, your table topics were so authentic, amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed. And the listener, I think, her name, active listener. No, active listener. She is, oh my God, Sneha, right?
Language evaluator.
Yeah, language evaluator. Yeah. She did amazing. And Rajni ji, you are an active listener, because only because you've been an active listener, you're able to ask questions to others. So it was so nice. And Kahira, what to say about you? You are really a very great president. You take, it's just because of you, the entire other role players are, as Aditya said, on toes. So kudos to your team. And I love to be here all the time. All the very best. And yeah, it's full of energy and more power to you. Great, great being here. All the very best.
Thank you, Induji. And with that, I would like to thank all our role players. Naren was the Zoom master, Aditya was the table topic master, Bhavesh, who was the timer, Sravanthi ma'am, who was the keynote speaker. I'm just doing this based on the people who are on the order of people on my screen. Sneha, who was the language evaluator, Rajni ji was the active listener. Thank you, Nupur, for agreeing to not take up your role just so that we could fit within our time frame. But I would like to see you in this role next week as well, because I'm sure you'll do amazing at it.
Thank you.
And with that, thank you all our members and guests for being here and making our meeting so amazing, because we love doing this. So thank you so much. And over to you, Toastmaster Bhavesh, for Asa.
Thank you, Toastmasters Kaira. So before I conclude the meeting, I must say what a great learning session it was. One big learning for me is authenticity begins from self-trust, and it thrives when there is a congruence between our inner experience and outward expressions. To have congruence, is it difficult? Surely it is. But good news is it is doable. There are lots and lots of learnings and takeaways from DTM Sravanthi's keynote speech. Let's implement the learnings and achieve congruence in our life. Further, an evaluation by TM Sneha was simply amazing, as we all got a chance to learn one or more things from that feedback. What more one can ask for? Finally, thanks to all the role bearers and all those who directly and indirectly made this meeting an amazing learning experience for all. Thank you all once again. And now I announce this meeting adjourned for now till we all meet again next week. Thank you all.